Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you with us today. If you're the kind of person who loves dissecting how highly successful people manage to completely reinvent themselves, well, you are in for a serious treat. Today, we're unpacking the evolution of Dwayne Johnson. We're focusing specifically on his incredible, honestly, almost unprecedented ability to execute massive career pivots. We're going to see exactly how he transformed a crushing failure in one arena into global dominance in several others. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the roadmap for our explainer today. We'll start with Bloodlines and Broken Dreams, move into Ruling the Squared Circle, cover his Hollywood box office juggernaut phase, explore his rise as a billion-dollar mogul, and finally look at his lasting global legacy. Section 1. Bloodlines and Broken Dreams. The generational huck and the first pivots. All right, to really understand his first major career shift, we actually have to look back at his deeply entrenched family roots. Back in 1982, his maternal grandmother, Leah Mavia, took over Polynesian Pacific Pro Wrestling, becoming one of the very first female promoters in the business. Just a year later, his dad, Rocky Johnson, makes history as the first black tag team champion in WWE. Then, of course, Dwayne debuts in 1996, and the legacy keeps going with his daughter Simone signing in 2020 as a fourth-generation wrestler. And this brilliantly illustrates the deep wrestling destiny that's literally woven right into his DNA. But here's the catch. Wrestling wasn't actually his first dream. Imagine you're at the absolute peak of your early ambitions. You're a 1991 NCAA national champion playing defensive tackle for the elite Miami Hurricanes. You're on top of the world. And then reality hits hard. He goes completely undrafted in the 1995 NFL draft. He heads up to the Canadian Football League, but gets cut from the Calgary Stampeders practice squad after just 2 months. I mean, have you ever had a dream just completely shattered like that? It's devastating. But that heartbreak ending his football career, that is exactly what pushed him toward the family business. Moving on to Section 2, Ruling the Squared Circle. From rejected rookie to the most electrifying man. Now, you might be thinking his jump into wrestling was this instant fairy tale, right? Far from it. Die, Rocky, die, and Rocky sucks. Yeah, that was the visceral, hostile reaction from the audience. He debuted as Rocky Maivia, the super clean-cut, constantly smiling good guy character, and the fans utterly rejected it. It was a complete disaster. He even suffered a legitimate knee injury during this time. So when he came back, he had a massive choice to make. Keep forcing a character the fans hated, or pivot. So the crucial point is how he handled that massive rejection. It's the ultimate turning point. He executed what the wrestling world calls a heel turn. He fully embraced the audience's hostility. He lashed out at the fans who booed him, completely dropped the Rocky Maivia name, started referring to himself in the third person, and transformed into the charismatic, trash-talking villain we know as The Rock. Instead of running from failure, he leaned right into it. Embracing the audience's hatred is literally what birthed a legendary persona. And wow, the results of that pivot were just astronomical. We're talking about a 10-time world champion, the 2000 Royal Rumble winner, the WWE's 6th Triple Crown champion. He became an absolute ratings magnet, main eventing the most watched episodes of Raw and SmackDown ever, and driving the most bought pay-per-view in history at WrestleMania 28. This heel pivot made him one of the greatest draws the wrestling industry had ever seen. But once you conquer one world, you look for the next mountain to climb, right? Section 3, Hollywood box office juggernaut. Leaving the ring for the silver screen. This was an incredibly risky third pivot. Think about it. He was leaving the WWE at the undeniable absolute height of his fame to start all over again at the bottom of the Hollywood ladder. But his unmatched work ethic translated immediately. For his very first leading role in the 2002 film The Scorpion King, he was paid $5.5 million. That actually landed him squarely in the Guinness World Records for the highest salary for a first-time leading man. It was a clear signal that his charisma definitely wasn't limited to just the wrestling ring. And that early success, it snowballed into a staggering $11.4 billion. Yeah, billion with a B. That is the worldwide box office gross of his films, firmly cementing him as one of the world's absolute highest-grossing actors throughout the entire 2010s. Let's move to and see how this builds, because he didn't just stick to standard action movies either. His mainstream crossover versatility was immense. He completely reinvigorated the Fast and Furious franchise as Luke Hobbs. He stepped into comedy adventure with massive critical and financial success as Dr. Smolder Bravestone in Jumanji, and, of course, he totally conquered family animation by voicing Maui in Disney's smash hit Moana. He basically became a one-man franchise enhancer. Which brings us to Section 4, the billion-dollar mogul. Conquering the boardroom and serious cinema. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how Johnson absolutely refused to be boxed in, pivoting beyond just being a charismatic action star. His diverse portfolio proves he's a total powerhouse in the corporate world, too. He launched Teremana Tequila in 2020, and it's already valued at roughly $3.5 billion. He took that early football heartbreak and channeled it into becoming co-owner of the United Football League, merging the XFL and USFL in 2024. He joined the board of TKO Group Holdings, a genius move that secured him full legal ownership of the Rock trademark. And through his co-founded $7 Productions, he's producing major hits. He is literally building an empire. But alongside that massive business empire, he's also pivoting his artistic brand. We all know him for those larger-than-life blockbuster roles, right? But look at his recent transformation. In the 2025 biographical sports drama, The Smashing Machine, he used full facial prosthetics to play the highly vulnerable, deeply flawed MMA fighter Mark Kerr. This serious dramatic acting earned him a Golden Lion Award nomination at the Venice Film Festival. It absolutely proves he can conquer intimate dramas just as well as big-budget spectacles. And our final section, a lasting global legacy, the final boss, spanning decades. We're looking at a guy who has maintained cultural relevance longer than almost anyone else in modern entertainment. He's achieved the incredibly rare feat of main-eventing WrestleMania across 4 completely different decades, from 1999 into 2001, returning in 2013, and then coming back in 2024 to main event WrestleMania XL as his brilliant new heel persona, the Final Boss. He never just rests on his laurels, he continuously updates his character to match the times. And beyond the entertainment and the business, he really understands that a true legacy is about what you give back. He made a historic 7-figure donation to the SAG-AFTRA Foundation during the recent strikes. He contributed $5 million to the People's Fund of Maui following those devastating wildfires. And he's operated the Dwayne Johnson Rock Foundation to support at-risk and terminally ill children since way back in 2006. From an undrafted football player to the most electrifying man in wrestling, to a Hollywood juggernaut, a billionaire mogul, and a critically acclaimed actor, the master of the pivot has continually redefined what's possible for himself. So I leave you with this final thought. From the gridiron to the squared circle, the box office to the boardroom, what ring will the final boss conquer next? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep evolving, and I'll catch you next time.